You sound different. I mean, I assume you haven't said anything yet, but I'm optimistically thinking you sound different.
I feel different. It's amazing what exercise and diet and meditation and good luck can do, and it's just coming through my voice.
You have a new microphone, don't you?
No, it's just the microphone, totally.
Yeah, that's okay. But you sound good.
Thank
you sound
you.
damn good there, Pete.
I'm a little nervous. Anything new is always a learning curve, but
so basically, and stop me if I'm wrong, and I don't mean this in like a criticizing way,
no,
whatsoever.
No,
because there's a lot of things that you're definitely a lot better at than I am. But totally, I mean that's just the way it works. But basically, what's happened is you have gone from on like a complicated tech level for your podcast setup. You've gone from like a 2 to maybe like a 7.
Yeah.
And I've just had to walk you through it over the phone. And I think you're feeling a little bit of anxiety because it's like, although it's a better setup, it just, there's more moving parts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just anxious because you don't know if it'll sound good or not.
Completely accurate.
You're going to sound beautiful.
Thank
Black
you.
Mirror. Why does it feel like it's been forever? Because it hasn't. Because I looked back and it really hasn't been that long. I think it's because we used to do it so often that now it's like, oh yeah, Black Mirror.
We used to do. Well, you're right, because we used to do it literally twice a month, bonus episodes.
Yeah, every other week. Yeah.
So we were really ripping through it, and just with our scheduling change, we've done it now that it's not a bonus episode. It's just kind of in the regular mix, and
we just threw it in there.
And just the way the schedule's fallen, I think we also bumped it back for
the way my father taught me to swim. That's what we're doing with it. Just throw it in. Just throw it in, and it's either gonna work or it won't, and we'll know for the next one.
And it has been a while, and now that I think of it, I think we also bumped a Black Mirror episode back for Batman and Robin, which in hindsight was probably not a good call. But it's a call.
Yeah, because
I felt
you were
strongly.
Like,
I felt strongly
like,
about it at the time.
Enough of that Black Mirror bullshit. I need to get me some George Clooney bat nipples. Yeah, and so we pushed it back. Yeah. So let's just jump in. Let's just do this. I'll tell you right off the bat. So this is okay. I'll ask you first. So, as is Black Mirror tradition, have you seen this episode before?
Negative.
Okay. Neither had I. And that's the first time I'm giving that response. So I had seen several of them in order. Like the people are like, well, you can watch Black Mirror in any order you want. And that's true. But that ain't how I function, girl. And so I had watched like season 1, season 2, and then the first episode of season 3, which was Nosedive, which we did last time. I had not seen Playtest, and I have not seen any Black Mirror episodes moving forward. So this is new territory for me altogether. But I had been warned. Several people in the past had told me that either this is the episode that they skip, or this is the episode that they got a little bit into and had to quit. Because it was just too much. It was just too intense. It was very upsetting for them. It was very disturbing. And so maybe a normal, functioning, healthy adult would have gone into this trepidatiously. I think it just elevated my my excitement level. Like I went into this like, all right, let's see what you got, Black Mirror. Yeah. So it's just me, which doesn't say anything about my enjoyment level. It just says a lot about like my dysfunctional mind and how that works. Had you heard? I think I'd passed along some of the cautions of this episode to you.
I think you did, but I think it was just. It wasn't that it was that long ago, but I I had just forgotten all about it, and I went into it quite blind. If you had told me,
Oh,
I
okay.
had forgotten all about it. So I did not go in with any notions of what to expect.
Right. Okay. So let's do this. Big celebrity guest this time.
Yeah.
You have no idea who he is, do you?
Are you talking about Wyatt Russell?
Yeah, okay, so you do know. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean big by association.
Sure.
Big because it's Kurt Russell's kid.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Kurt Russell and who is it that he
Kate Hudson. No,
No, not Kate Hudson.
It's
she plays Mrs. Claus in the Kurt Russell Santa Claus movies.
Gosh.
It's a weird name.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me. I'm googling it. So I'm gonna.
Oh, you're looking it up?
I'm gonna look it up. While
Okay.
I'm doing that, I did not realize that was Kurt Russell's offspring.
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell's kid. Which once you know that and you look at a picture of his face, you go, "Oh, of course it is."
Yeah, well, now that you've said it, I don't know how I didn't know that. Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Yeah,
There
it's a
it
weird
is.
name. But that's
okay,
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's kid.
Which makes sense now. Like, I don't know how I didn't know that. That's wild. So this actor actually. So I've seen him in 3 things now, including this. I've seen him in not a very good acting role. It was one of those teen comedies. I think it was like 22 Jump Street. He played like a jock football player. And then the other 2 things I saw him in were literally this past week. So I saw him in this episode of Black Mirror. And
and can I guess?
You can guess the other thing.
Can I guess? You have started into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No, he's in that.
What? Seriously, you haven't? Oh my God.
He's in it though?
Yeah, he is.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we'll get it when we talk about what we watched at the end of the week. It'll be a friend of the show, Andrew, will appreciate what I saw him in. So I'll get to it later. But I had only seen him in 3 things. 2 of the 3 I think are respectable roles. The one, 22 Jump Street, was you got to pay the bills.
It's not great.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, big star power.
Yeah. So in the past, our Black Mirror episodes, let's pull the curtain back. In the past, our Black Mirror episodes have been a little less about what happened in the actual episode, and it's been a lot more like I don't know. We find like an existential question or some big ethical debate that we feel like is being asked in this episode, and we kind of break it down. And maybe we'll stumble into something. I don't know, but nothing was really, aside from the obvious, which is like, is it ethical to do what they did? And how far should a gaming company? But those just felt like, I don't know. Those just felt like tired topics, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
So the plan is just to talk about how there's so much meat on the bones of this episode, I feel. And so initial thoughts. Without showing me your whole hand, what are your initial thoughts of this episode?
Okay, so my initial thoughts, before I do the initial thoughts, I'm going to appease the Carl Eastmans of the group, and I'm going to limit it to like 30, I'm just going to give a brief synopsis just
27 seconds. I am flipping the egg timer. Go.
Okay. So there's this lad from the United States. His father either just died or is severe stage Alzheimer's. I honestly forget. He goes on a world trip to cope with his emotions, and then hit the last leg of his trip. He's in the United Kingdom. He doesn't call his mother back, who's obviously also grieving from the medical issues of his father. And long story short, he needs some cash to get home. He replies to an advertisement to help at a video game company that's really prestigious, and
as you do.
As you do. Listen, if I had a nickel for every time I've done that, Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have any money or anything.
I wouldn't have
but,
any
you
money
know,
right now.
The point, yeah, the point remains, yeah.
So he goes to this video game company, and basically they have him sign all these waivers, and they say, hey, we've got this virtual reality game where we'll pop you into it, and we'll just, it's like a horror house. Like we're going to try and scare you, and not only will it be like, it's not like a scary house that you go to on Halloween that has some fake guy with a pot belly chasing you with a chainsaw. Like it's very psychosomatic. Like it's using your memories to haunt you, specific to you. So
it's going to adapt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to basically read your brain and find out what scares you.
Yep.
But on top of that, it's like an AI in the sense that, you know, every time it does scare you, it's going to take that interaction and use it to become smarter on how to scare you. Like it's constantly improving its efficiency.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, essentially the whole episode is him just becoming scared, eventually tapping out, wanting to leave. And then we go through a myriad of like 2 or 3 different times where we think he's pulled out to varying degrees of like, he died, he didn't die, he died, he didn't die. And then eventually it shows him going home. And then, you know, it turns out that he actually didn't wake up, that the test was harmful to him and like fried his brain essentially. And he doesn't wake up, he doesn't talk to his mom again. And that's the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if anything has ever given, you know, Return of the King a run for its money in terms of number of endings, you know,
I feel like it's
is
a
a contender.
combo. It's like a Return of the King mixed with like Inception a little bit, where you're not sure which reality is the reality by the end, and you're like, okay, is he dead? No, that was just a dream within a dream, and then there's a dream within a dream within a dream, and it just the ripple effects just exactly. Well, the only downside was Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception was a little bit appealing, and now that I know this was Kurt Russell's kid, that adds to the hype.
Right. So initial thoughts.
So, and peeling back the curtain again seems to be the pattern of this episode, so let's just keep it going. I think, and I don't want to misquote you, but you said something along the lines of, Pete, my name's Brady, in this message. I don't think you, Peter,
I always
this.
self-identify. Whenever I'm messaging someone, I always self-identify. Yeah.
You said, Peter, I don't think you, Peter, enjoyed this episode of Black Mirror, Peter.
Yeah, so we haven't discussed it. I have no idea. You have no idea what I thought of it. I have no idea what you thought of it. But I said my hypothesis.
Is
I don't think you liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's up your alley. I don't think it's the type of thing that you were like, oh, that was so good, and got up and walked away from with a smile on your face.
So, I loved it. I think it might be. I think we'll get into the rating of it at the end, but actually, okay, I won't give anything away, but it has the potential to earn the highest rating I've ever given a Black Mirror episode thus far.
Okay, so hands down it is like, so let's definitively, because I'm ready to jump ship here with you. Let's definitively say of the Black Mirror episodes we have watched, this is the best one.
Oh, you're in the same boat. Okay.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, 100%. This is so good. This is what Black Mirror it should be. It's what it needs to be.
But is it so? I'm agreeing with you, but I'm wondering. So here's the thing: this episode, I enjoyed it just as a story that was told on the screen, and I'm wondering, is that not what Black Mirror is? Because Black Mirror, to my understanding, has to have some kind of underpinning question or a technology that makes us question where we're going as a society. And to this episode didn't really have that, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm there for that all day.
I disagree.
But I thought I just would have assumed the Black Mirror purists would say this episode didn't carry the torch, so to speak.
No, I mean, I would disagree. I think, it is obviously, first and foremost, it is about a piece of technology.
It is.
And it's a technology that is a futuristic projection of technology we have, or a pursuit that we have. And that pursuit is making gaming more and more immersive.
Yep.
And it is I think the existential question, if you were to ask one, is, the line between a business's profitability versus their ethics. Or not even just the profitability, but like, maybe it's not even about getting rich. Maybe it's about just their obsession with science and progressing the technology and all of these things. It's that they have we're thrust into a Jeff Goldblum moment where they were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they forgot to consider if they should.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's maybe not because the episode has horror elements. And is like a jump scary kind of like it gets creepy at times.
Oh yeah.
And you feel like it does a good job of making you feel tense. So two things I think it does really well. It does a really good job of making you tense because it takes from the time they tell you that things are going to happen to him to scare him to the time that actually starts happening. There's like a good 10, 15 minutes where he's just kind of like bumming around the house and he like drinks some non-alcoholic wine and he looks at a painting and he does all this stuff. Like they're just kind of setting a bunch of things up. And that whole time you're friggin' on edge because you're like any second now. And so like those 15 minutes or that like gap period, or really from the time, because even once it starts scaring them, you're just waiting for the next scare. So really from the time they take him into the house and they explain the premise, there's just fear in me. There's like, I'm on edge. I'm waiting for the next thing to happen and jump out and scare him and scare me and all of this stuff. So that I think they did really well. The other thing that I think they do incredibly is to take a feeling, which is a feeling he had where he didn't know, as things are kind of spiraling and it's getting worse and worse, he doesn't know what's real anymore or what isn't. He can't trust what he's seeing. He's experiencing things, he's observing things, he's seeing and hearing things. But he doesn't know of those things which are real.
Which is
episode,
a scary, which is a horrifying reality.
Which is a horrifying thing. And the episode, because it has so many false endings, creates that sense in the viewer. There's a moment where you're like, I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I'm seeing what they're showing me, but I don't know if I'm supposed to trust it, or if the wall is being pulled over my eyes again.
Interesting.
And I was like, wow. Because I walked away from it feeling like Cooper did. I walked away from it going like, wow, like they created this. This isn't real. It's actually this. Which also isn't real. It's actually this. So it was like a hallucination within a hallucination within a hallucination within another hallucination.
Right.
And which have you ever woken up from a dream and then woken up from waking up from that dream?
Like a dream within a dream kind of thing?
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Have you ever woken up and thought, oh God, they show it all the time in movies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But has it ever actually happened to you?
No, I feel like I'm really trying to think. I don't know if I've ever had that.
I can only recall it happening to me once, and it's very disconcerting.
Sure.
Only because you wake up and you do have a moment of doubt.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because the thing about the human brain, so there's dreams are amazing because there's so much about dreams we don't know. We've studied dreams and we still basically know dick about dreams. It's amazing. We don't know why we dream. We don't know how we dream. We don't know, it's amazing dreaming. But what we do know is that your mind doesn't know that your dream, most of the time, your mind isn't aware of the fact that you're in a dream until you've woken from the dream. It doesn't matter how ridiculous your dream gets.
That's interesting.
Which is why scary dreams are so scary, because your brain is telling you that it's real. So the exception to this is what's called lucid dreaming, and you can do it. You can train yourself to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
But it takes some dedication and it takes some time, and there's a bunch of different theories on how to best do it. I've done it a couple of times, and it's a lot of fun, because all of a sudden you're like, actually, this is my dream, and I can fly now.
Oh, man.
But most of the time we don't realize we're in a dream, no matter how ridiculous it is, until you wake up. And then you suddenly go, well, obviously that was all bullshit. But when you wake up from a dream within a dream, it's really disconcerting, because you've already had that moment. You already think you had that moment where you woke up and was like, okay, now I can trust reality. And then something really crazy happens, and then you wake up from that and you're like, I don't know if I can trust this. I feel like I can trust it, but I was also certain I could trust it before.
Who do I trust? What can I trust?
And that's what the end of this episode does to you.
Yeah. I think
and it's so powerful.
I think that's a really interesting point you make about the connection between the audience feeling like Cooper is, because that's one of the reasons, the ending is just so shocking or shaking to the viewer, because we just don't know. We just don't know, and he didn't know, and you tapped on it, not knowing what's real and not real, no matter the circumstances, is horrifying, or it can be.
Right. Question number 2.
Yeah.
Have you ever, and it feels it's super applicable to this episode, have you hallucinated before?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay. I have.
Ooh.
Due to, years ago, I was like, I don't know, 12, 11? And got sick.
Oh.
And hallucinated because of the temperature that I was. Ran a fever that caused me to hallucinate.
Dang.
And it is traumatizing.
Oh, I bet.
So because once again, kind of in a dream state, even though because your brain is in control of everything. Right? It's in control of your pain receptors. It's in control of everything. And so even though logically, when you're hallucinating, even though, logically, that and I was hallucinating at Halloween, around Halloween time. It was the week leading up to Halloween. And so the house is full
of
with
just
scary shit.
No kidding.
And so even though that the ghost-shaped candle on top of the entertainment center, even though, you remember that those novelty candles where it's like a sculpted candle and nobody burns it, you just take the candle out every Halloween or every Christmas.
Right.
It's like a candle in the shape, and it's colored the shape of a Santa Claus, and you're like, this is really impressive. We better not burn this. We had one that was a ghost, and so even though logically you can look at that candle and say to yourself, I know that it's not coming to life and crawling at me. I know logically, that there's not a wolf in here that's howling at us and gritting its teeth and staring me down. Because you're hallucinating, your brain tells you this is real. Your fight or flight response kicks in, and it tells you this is real. And so that's something that I kind of wonder if was factual. I wonder how factual his response was, because there was a couple of times that something really scary would happen.
Right.
And then, from a jump scare level, it would get him, but then he was over it, right? There was the body of a giant spider with the face of the school bully.
Right.
And it was a terrifying thing to look at, and it was still there right in front of him. But he almost instantly had no fear. He was just over it, right?
Right.
It was a jump scare, scared the shit out of him at first, but then he was like,
sure.
"Oh, okay, ha 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 ha, you got me again." And I wonder how accurate that is. And obviously, it's impossible to tell, so we can't say that wasn't accurate. I wonder how accurate it is that he would instantly be over it. Because like I said, I've hallucinated, which is essentially what he's doing throughout this episode. And it's traumatizing because your brain tells you, nope, this is real. This is real. Which is, is kind of like schizophrenia. Right? If you have the hallucinating kind of schizophrenia,
for sure.
Logically, you know that. So I knew someone years ago who had schizophrenia, and had it bad, and they told me that it's not an uncommon thing for them to be sitting and watching TV or whatever with their family. They had a couple siblings and a mom and a dad, and it's not uncommon to be sitting there in the living room and see one of the siblings violently murder the rest of the family.
Oh, wow.
And that was so eye-opening for me. But they also said, and it's horrific, because I can tell you right now that obviously I know that's not happening and doesn't happen. But when I see it happening, my brain, because it's a hallucination, my brain is incapable of understanding that that's not logically true. And I have to just ride out the hallucination.
Jeez.
And so, and I can vouch for that. I can vouch that, you just have to ride out the hallucination. So I wonder how accurate that is, that he just was able to shake things off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, right? Because it's not even like he's had, in the context of this, it's not like someone who, in the example you give of your friend who's even had a lifetime, or at least a period of time, where they're aware of what's happening, and for lack of a better term, they've had some build up to it. With this, this is just the first time he's seen a hallucination, so it's not like he's developed any coping mechanisms or any sensitivity to it to be like, yes, I'm familiar with this, or I know how to kind of handle this. Yeah, I just kind of looked past him walking away from that spider being so horrific. I didn't give it much thought, but that's a good point.
So when the bully guy shows up, right? And he's the adult version, and he's all dressed in black and stuff. Do you think, putting yourself in that situation, as quickly as he was just oh, that's a good one? Because up until that point, the only scary thing that's happened to him is there's the regular-sized spider that crawls across the floor and then goes on his hand. And he's seen the painting change a couple of times. Do you think, just as quickly, you'd be laughing at it and putting your hand through it, walking forward to walk through it? Do you think you would have completely regained your cool so quickly within seconds that you're able to just look at it and marvel at how realistic it looks, and oh wow, no way, you look so real, and haha, good one, and or do you think you'd be kind of, shitting yourself a little bit? You'd be is that who you look real.
Yeah.
You sound real. All of my senses are betraying me if you're not real. And we're programmed to trust our senses. right? If your hand touches something and it feels hot, you don't question it, right? You trust that it's hot. If you look at something and it looks like a red fire truck, you don't go, well, but is it? No, it's a red freaking fire truck. If you hear something that sounds like music, you don't go, am I actually hearing music, or am I just imagining that it's there? You are programmed to have this unfettered trust with your senses. And so, yeah, I think he would struggle. I think I would struggle. I think I would be, one scare and all of a sudden, I think the fact that you were in a position, even if things weren't happening, even if things weren't appearing, I think being in a position where you knew that you couldn't trust any of your senses, that would be unnerving. I think that would have you so high strung that you would go crazy with the first time something jumps out at you. I think you would completely lose it.
Yeah, I think personally for me, and it's easy for me to sit here and say this. I think the example you gave of the individual, like his bully jump scaring him, I think the instinctual aspect is you can't change. Even if you're in an environment that you're aware that things will jump out and boo and bah and scare you, I think there would be you would recoil, you would be nervous at the jump scare. But I think once you have that instantaneous response, I think I at least would be adapted enough to say, look at it and get over the shock of something being there when there wasn't something there before, and realize, okay, this is obviously playing into, this is my childhood bully. This thing is fueling off my fears. It would be creepy out of context, but knowing the context of his environment, I feel like I could get around some of it like he did, but I don't want to find out.
So would you do it? If there was a technology that was guaranteed safe, so ignore the adverse health effects that end up transpiring, perfectly safe, completely tested, 100% safe. Would you and it was going to try to scare you. It was going to play off, and there was a safe word. You could actually, let's say it all goes according to plan the way he thought it was going to go. It's safe. I can instantly opt out at any moment. Would you do it?
I'm going to stop you there, though, because in the context of our episode that we watched, do you think she would have let him out if he had said the safe word sooner? Like if when he had seen the spider roll across the floor, and that was the very first thing of the many things he saw, and he said, you know what, I would have been fine with fire breathing dragons and everything from A to Z, but because it's that, I am not here for that. And he said, stop, let me out. Do you think she would have let him out? And the reason I'm asking you that, because like you're saying some of the same promises she said to him, right? Like, you're safe, nothing bad will happen to you, you shouldn't feel any pain, and when you say the word, it's all done. So like we'll get to answering your question shortly, and it's predicated on them following their word, but I just wanted to ask you, like, do you think she would have actually let him out like you were promising to me?
No, but only because, clearly she's a bad person, right? Like, so I don't think she would have, but she's also working for an organization that is killing people, causing them to go brain dead and then essentially have aneurysms, I guess.
Yeah.
And so no, I mean, no, right? But that's because there was no real ethical morality, even though we didn't realize it, there was no ethical morality ever going into this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All things being fair and the way they should have been, I I think ethically and legally you have to. But I think, again, even if it wasn't like brain damaging people and stuff and it was all completely safe, I mean, I think I think you get a really interesting test result when the fear that I think there's something that prevents you from being as scared as you should be when you know that you can end it at any second. That's a safety right? So as soon as you try to end it and you can't, I think that is a whole new level of fear. Like that's exponential fear growth. Yeah. That's not just like, oh, it's like twice as scary. No, that's like scary to the power of 10.
Yeah.
Because now you are like, you're screwed. You're screwed. Especially if they're saying like you can't take. Well, and so like something I kind of started asking myself, because he tries to like pull his own thing out at some point. And she says, or at least he thinks, none of this ends up happening. It's so crazy that he never even leaves the whack-a-mole room. But anyways, but so she's like, I don't know. Yeah, she was like, trying to take that out, it'll kill you if you try to take that out yourself. And so I found myself, like, during the episode, asking, at what point am I trying to claw it out because I hope it kills me? Because I'm just need to not be in this anymore. Yeah. And it probably wouldn't take very long, because it seemed like it was, again, like the scary things were exponential. I think it would very, very, very quickly become overstimulating. I think you would reach a point where if you couldn't, I think there's only one of two ways out of it. I think you either take your own life by removing this thing, or you have a heart attack, or I think your heart would fail, because how could it not? Your blood pressure, your whatever, just being in that constant state of anxiety, extreme anxiety, I think you'd have a heart attack.
Yeah.
You'd have an epinephrine overload, and yeah, you would just have a heart attack.
Yeah, that's alarming.
It is. It's super alarming.
I'm a little. I guess I'm just still hoping they would have taken him out eventually, before like he just stroked out or ripped it out on his own. But
I mean, that's the thing. None of that happened.
No.
And it's like she did, like, they didn't think it was going to kill him. The fact that he turned his phone back on when he wasn't supposed to, and they never said it was for privacy reasons. She just said anything that can send or receive.
That is true.
Which is the same reason they don't want you to have it on a plane. It's the same reason they don't want you to have it in a hospital, because it interferes with the equipment.
Which
not because they don't want you texting out pictures of the inside. Someone's going to be sitting at home going, haha, now I know what a WestJet plane looks like without buying a ticket. That's not a thing. It's, hey, you're going to cause a problem with our equipment.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they could have done a bit of a better job confiscating the phone and actually like removing it versus just like leaving it in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't, they seemed unaware of the it's not like they knew, if the phone is on, it's going to kill him. That they were like, it must have been, this must have been what happened. But if that was even a remote possibility,
right,
then you'd think they would do a better job of taking care of that for him. But so it's weird because they didn't try to kill him. Right? It was a freak accident. But then they also cover it up. They're also not going to like report it to the authorities. And
this place is not.
He's also
on the
not
up and up.
Yeah, and he's also not. This also doesn't seem like the first person who's died.
No. Well, and see, so they're definitely not on the up and up, and there's probably some ethical things that they are not following code on, as far as experimentation and research and whatever they're doing. Part of me also wonders, like, it just seems weird that this company, who is, like, it's a very professional company to a degree, forgot one key form for this employee to walk out of the room and let him play around for a few minutes. So I honestly almost, at first I thought there was maybe something that was intentional as far as, oh, we forgot something. Let's leave you in the room alone with your phone and this device and see what happens. Maybe. And if it does harm you, we do want to find out what happens with your phone, and it's of your own accord. I think I'm grasping at straws with that, but when she first did go find this form and left him alone, I did think that was a little fishy.
Well, and you know what's interesting? We don't have any... The only things that we know in this episode for sure is that it kills him. Whatever happens kills him. And that she left the room and he took some pictures of the stuff, turned his phone on, took some pictures of the stuff, and sat down, and then she initiated the machine. That's all we know. Because everything from the moment she does that forward happens in his head and isn't real.
Yeah.
He made that up. So it's very, very conceivable. In fact, it's probable. It is highly probable because he made it up. The fact that that company, if it turns out, because his brain is what came up with him being impressed with the whack-a-mole. Like, maybe the whack-a-mole is real, right? Maybe they're just at the stage where they're trying to come up with this immersive whack-a-mole, which makes sense.
Yeah.
That, what doesn't make sense is if they have this horror house technology that they're initiating people in with a whack-a-mole. That doesn't make any sense. So I think the whack-a-mole thing is probably real. However, if you think about it, because his brain, because he imagined everything else, if in reality they do have this like ultimate fear technology that they're doing, the coincidental odds that that's something that is actually happening, and he also happened to his brain also just happened to bullshit that, you have the odds of getting struck by lightning while holding a winning lottery ticket, that's probably more likely. So all we know, the whole horror thing, so you're asking, like, do you think she would have actually let him out? I don't think there was anything to ever let him out of.
Right.
He was there to test a whack-a-mole thing, and his phone effed it up, and he went into like a weird comatose thing and imagined hours of all this stuff, and that's it. That's all we know. We don't know that like the house that she takes him to doesn't. I guarantee you that doesn't exist. The only reason his brain did that is because he's played the game that his hallucination told him that house was based off of. Yep. That house doesn't actually exist. I guarantee you that house doesn't actually physically exist. It was just a video game house.
Right.
But then his brain, as it does in dreams, latched on to real life experiences and stuff like that to form what it was going to form. All we know is that they were doing some kind of immersive VR, and it was probably just the whack-a-mole thing, and maybe even just that initial 8-bit low quality whack-a-mole is probably most likely. Because why would you start with that and then do why the theatrics of a more impressive one and a more impressive one? I bet you the little the little 8-bit whack-a-mole guy popped his head up, and then the phone went off and he was fried.
Yeah, hard to know.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we... and it's impossible to know. It's all we know for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So then, I mean, which is weird then that they do end up being sketchy as dirt. right? That they're like, it won't happen again. Well, you just killed a guy. Like, let's dock your pay. But do you have anything else?
No, that's about it. I think to answer your question, no, I wouldn't do this.
Me neither. Not in a million
I can
years.
partake in a horror film watching, preferably with friends, just to kind of make it a communal experience and kind of hold my hand through it. But anything where you're A, isolated, but more so B, manipulating what you're perceiving and not knowing what's real and what's not real and just doing it electively just doesn't sound fun to me. And in addition to having trust issues of knowing whether they'd actually stop it, and then if there'd any be long-term effects of just having hallucinations as a result of something tapping in your brain. So yeah, not for me.
Sure. All right. 0 to 10, sir.
The only thing you asked me some questions. I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
And it's completely non-important compared to the magnitude of stuff we were talking about.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Have you ever tried Marmite?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Yeah. I believe I've tried Marmite and Vegemite. But
so I don't know. I've definitely had one of them. Which one? Okay. Vegemite is the Australian one, and yes. Marmite is the British one.
Yeah.
Then I've had Marmite.
Marmite, okay.
Because my stepdad is English, and so right on. I've had Marmite. Then I have not had Vegemite.
That's cool.
But it sounds like they're equally nasty.
Yeah, I was at we were staying at an apartment or flat in the UK, and like they had both of them there, and I was like, "Hey, what's this?" And just tried it, and
I'll do the British thing, yeah.
Is it like Nutella?
And then you regretted it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
yeah. It took the chim chiroo out of your day. Yeah.
It was the only pleasant thing about this episode, I'll say, seeing that.
Yeah. 0 to 10, sir.
I'm giving this. So it's my favorite so far. I'd say probably better than White Christmas. White Christmas, I think, might have some better components or storytelling, but there's just some uncomfortable aspects to it that draw me back a little bit. But I don't know, somewhere between a 9 and a 9.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give anything a 10.
Wow.
Seems a little premature just because we have so many left that, like, I'm assuming there's one that I think I've seen, and I think I'll give it a higher than a 9 or a 9.5. But
okay.
I can easily live with this film, and I call it a film, but it was a short story. I enjoyed. It was a fascinating tale. It was a fascinating view, and the underlying questions. I'm feeling more uncomfortable about the underpinning questions when I break it down with you. But just watching it on its own, it's not as obnoxious as some of the other episodes that it's just in your face and you can't not think about whatever the discomfort question is. This one, I can just enjoy it as a tale. So for that reason, I'm giving it that higher score. And
cool.
I can live with that. How about you?
Okay, so I mean, I gave White Christmas a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And I think I stand by it. I don't like to go back on ratings. An argument could be made that I should bump it down to like a 9.5.
Sure.
Because this is I definitely like this more. And because before I said, you know what, there's nothing I would change about White Christmas.
Sure.
And that's probably true. If I would change anything about White Christmas, I would just make it more like Playtest. I don't know. I loved this episode. I was riveted. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm ready to watch it again, actually, because I think maybe there's, it might be the type of thing that on a second viewing you catch more.
Sure.
So good. Such a good episode.
It was.
And so funny that, like, had I not been doing a movie podcast, where I review things and am working through this series, And had I just, blindly took the advice of my friends, I would have there's a chance I would have never watched this. And that would have been a shame because, this is the best Black Mirror episode we've had. So good. So good. And 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'm just floored by some people saying it's uncomfortable and just unenjoyable. Like, to me, it's the best so far.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I got a question for you.
Yes?
Would you watch this week? And I'm excited to ask you that because you've given me high, like, you've made me intrigued with you send me a thing. You're like, this would be, it was like a guy who was like all intrigued and excited and like, looking at his computer screen like, ooh.
So for context, it was
and you were like, GIF
it's like Antonio Banderas and he like looks at a computer screen and then like he leans back and like puts his hand on his mouth and is like relieved or intrigued or something.
Yeah. And you were like, this is going to be you during
it's different than a guy going,
we watching. Yeah. I don't know. That's the sound effect I hear when I see that GIF. So what'd you watch?
Okay, I'll get to that one in a second to just tantalize you and tease you a bit more.
Oh my God.
So I watched 2 films this week. The first, 3 things, 2 films. Continued my trek with my wife on the rewatch of Lost. Still on season 1.
Okay.
The first film I'll talk about is shout out to a friend of the show, Andrew. Took his advice and watched Woman in the Window.
Yep.
Which so many actors in it. So many actors. Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Gary Oldman, Anthony Mack. Is it Mackle or Mackie?
From like Sam Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mackie.
And also Wyatt Russell.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's the third thing I've ever seen him in. And it was a respectable role. He was kind of a peripheral character, but still respectable in this, respectable in Black Mirror. So it was really fun that like it aligned that I watched like 66% of his viewing of in my life has been in 1 week. And
cool.
Yeah. Both were good.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Andrew, but I don't care. What did you watch that you think I'm going to be blown away by?
Just chill for a minute. Woman in the Window wasn't my favorite film. I don't know enough about Hitchcock to get the subtle references that Andrew was talking about.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Laid down.
It would all be lost on me.
It would be lost on me. It was a well enough made film. It wasn't bad. It just, for my taste and perceptions, it was okay. I would not need to view it again. But an interesting view, especially with the collaboration of characters.
Right.
The film that I watched. What is it? Actually, you know what? We should just adjourn and we'll just continue next week. I think that
sounds good.
We've come to a good spot here. No.
All right. Yeah. So then what I watched.
And listen, here's the thing. It's all about my judgment. Maybe you don't like this film at all and I've totally misread. But I watched the 2004 Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2.
Ooh. It's the best. Of the Spider-Man movies that have been released, it's the best Spider-Man movie.
I'm here to say it is so good. I haven't watched it in years, and
it's perfect.
I'm just trying to convey to you and the listener how good I think this film is. And I will just say nostalgia plays about 90% of that. I get it. But the more I think about why I like it, I think there's merit to why I'm saying it. And I'm just going to limit it to 2 things. And I do want to tell you this. The one is just kind of silly, but we did just watch Batman and Robin, and it was so crappy that I think watching this in kind of sequence, it's like, okay, that was bad. This was good. They're both kind of comic book universe kind of things. And it's just interesting to see this type of film can be done well.
Oh, yeah.
But unlike other comic book films, it just does such a good job with the depth of the characters. Like with Spider-Man, you get such like an inner conflict of why he's feeling a certain way and him choosing to feel different ways and the motivations behind it. And I think that depth I have not seen in other comic book films before. And so I get that it's not Shakespeare, it's still Spider-Man, but for what it is, it's just done so well. And you get it in the villain, and you get such good acting by Tobey Maguire, and I think it's Nestor Molina, and just J.K. Simmons. It's
Alfred
so
Molina.
Good. Alfred Molina, sorry. And I have a hot take to say about this, and then I will pass the baton to you. So obviously I would score this film well, and nostalgia plays a part in it. But I'm also going to say there's a sequence in this film where there's a montage with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, walking around with the raindrops keep falling on my head sequence. You're familiar with it, right?
Yeah. He's quit. He's done. He's done being Spider-Man, and the weight of that dual personality has been lifted. And
he's a new man.
He's happier than a pig in mud.
That I love that montage so well, and that was feeding into again what I thought was done well about the film. That song, "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head," was written by, I'm googling it. It's Burt Bacharach and Hal David, and it was made specifically for a film in 1969, as you're probably aware, for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So that song was made for that movie, like specifically, like tailored like a suit. I'm here to say I think it was a better fit and better used and more was accomplished by its use in Spider-Man 2 than it was in the original film. And I will probably anger like purist film pundits by saying that, but I will
screw them.
Screw them. Like it is so so incredibly well fit into that, where that is in the movie, where that is in Peter Parker's journey. Oh, I mean, it is so good.
Nobody in Butch and the Sundance Kid like flings a bicycle tire out of a window, and I feel like, it's just better.
It honestly is. To my credit, I've never seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I tried to once and I fell asleep. So I have only Googled I've only Googled the sequence where that song is in it, and out of context, it was like, wow, this sucks. So
I mean, that
whatever.
in and of itself says it's, this is better.
Oh, Spider-Man 2. So listen, I want to ask you what you watched this week. I want to say one more time how good Spider-Man 2 is. But before you say what you watched, just where are you on the spectrum of like, are you pleased? Are you like, oh yeah, Spider-Man 2 was good, it lived up to the hype of what I watched? Or are you disappointed that you think Spider-Man 2 sucks?
No, it's amazing. It's definitely not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you know what? It's good. Yeah. I think I was expecting like I don't know, I was expecting like Star Wars or Back to the Future or
like Conjuring like 1 through 12 or something.
Yeah, right, or like something super, like I watched the Saw franchise. I'm like, holy shit, good for you,
right.
man. Like
something I would something you think that I would have never liked.
Yeah, or just something that's like so definitively Brady in its, or like if you'd
right.
watched Sound of Music or Mary Poppins,
right.
or something right. that's like really just but so where like Cats would have been a 0, Mary Poppins, Sound of Music, Star Wars would have been a 10. I'd say this is like a 7. It's like a 7. So it's up there.
More like,
but there would have been bigger like attaboy moments.
Cats would be -2. Paddington 1 would be 0, and then everything else you said was correct.
And actually, Paddington 2 would have pissed me right off because I would have been like, I thought we had an accord.
We had an oath.
We're going to watch this together.
Oh yeah.
Paddington 2. Listen, I'm definitively right now. It has been over a year.
Yep.
It's been like a year and a half since we've sat and watched a film together. Maybe close to 2 years actually, since we've been in the same room watching a film together. The first film that we watched together in person needs to be Paddington 2. It's just at this point, it's too much riding on it. Yeah.
We'll talk. Because, I mean, there could be something more profound about watching something that we know we like, say, Back to the Future or something. But
sure.
We'll talk.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. What did you watch?
I'm going to make this super, super quick.
Yeah.
I watched 2 films.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ooh.
And Captain Marvel, which means this week at some point, Endgame is going to happen, and it's going to be glorious. I've not watched Endgame since I watched it in the theater. I don't think I've watched. I think I watched Endgame twice, maybe 3 times in the theaters.
Oh man! Whoa.
But I haven't seen it out of the theater. I don't think I haven't watched it since. There's been moments that I've watched, sure, like on YouTube and stuff. I've been like, I'm really craving this 10 minutes of Endgame, and I would go watch the 10 minutes, just like Infinity War. So spoiler alert for Infinity War if somehow you live under a rock. But like I've gone back and watched Peter Parker to the Mr. Stark. I don't want to go. I've watched that.
Yeah.
Outside of just watching Infinity War, because you're like, I'm really looking for some second most emotionally convincing Spider-Man, because Tom Holland is the second most emotionally convincing Spider-Man,
which is still respectable.
Tobey Maguire is the third.
Pardon me.
He's the third. Go watch. You can look him up on YouTube. Go watch Andrew Garfield's reaction to when Uncle Ben dies.
Mm-hmm.
And go watch his reaction to in Spider-Man 2 when Gwen dies. Go watch those 2. Those, if you take those 2, that total 120 seconds of footage, that should be submittable for an Oscar. It is, those 2 moments are some of the best acting I've seen from anyone ever. It's incredible.
I'm sure I'll be able to watch that and accept what you're saying intellectually, but I will still not put him first.
But yeah, emotionally, I know. Anyways, wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please check out our links below: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, follow, subscribe. Wherever you're listening, please rate and review us positively. It helps the whole algorithm machine, helps other people to find us, and that is good. Check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's a way for you to help support the show, and it's a way for us to give you perks in return for supporting the show. Thank you so much for listening. That's the main thing. We wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you. We would. Brady and I have a kind of a restraining order with each other that we've kind of put on the wayside just to do this podcast. So if it wasn't for you, the listener, we wouldn't be doing this.
We have a lot on the line.
We're putting a lot on the line. I shouldn't have even mentioned it, to be honest. But we also like a like and a comment. So please like and comment and let us know what you thought of the episode. And until next time.
Bye-bye.